What's going on YouTube? So as more and more sedans leave the market, the Nissan Altima has been and continues to be one of the more popular midsize sedans. For 2022, Nissan is making a few updates to enhance its competitiveness against the Camry, Accord, Sonata, and others. But without wasting any time, let's go ahead and jump right into this review and see if this is the midsize sedan for you. All right, so let's go ahead and begin with the exterior as always. So you're not gonna notice anything significantly different about the Altima's overall aesthetic. This is not too old of a vehicle, but there is one important 2022 change, which I think a lot of you guys are gonna like. As you may know, Nissan has been known to make Midnight Edition models across a lot of their trim levels, and they've proven to be very popular. We now have a Midnight Edition for this Altima. You added on to the SR trim level like what we have today. And what that's going to do is basically black out all the chrome elements on the exterior of the vehicle, give you that nice stealthy and sleek look, and obviously that is going to include the chrome that traces around our signature V-Motion Nissan grille. Now we'll go ahead and take a look at the headlights next. So you are going to have full LED headlights included on all but the base trim level with this Altima. As you can see, it is going to be a projector low beam. You have the reflector style for the high beam. This is your daytime running light, and then your turn signal is incandescent, and that's going to be separated down here. Furthermore, this would be the area where there would be a fog light if you choose the SL or the Platinum model, and that SR Midnight Edition actually does throw in fog lamps as well. Of course, as you would expect, you do have a series of different wheels that escalate as you move through the trim levels, starting with 16-inch steel wheels with hubcaps and going up to 17 inches. Then when you get to the SR though, this is where you're going to get 19-inch alloys. These are actually shared with the fully loaded Platinum. So that's one of the reasons I think this trim level has proven to be so popular. Very nice high contrast finish, and once again, like I was saying at the front, the new Midnight Edition package is going to finish this in a full gloss black. And as we come up here to the mirrors, these are going to be finished in gloss black no matter what, if you choose the SR trim level, that is. And in terms of the feature set, heating is going to be in the SR Midnight Edition package, or a higher trim level, of course, but the blind spot monitoring system is going to be included on all but the base model.
All right, so here at the side of the Altima, there is an interesting little fun fact for you. This vehicle is actually longer than the Maxima, so it comes in at 192.9 inches in length, which actually does place it a little bit larger than that Maxima model, although that is really, of course, more focused on the sport, and this is your family option. I do want to point out you do still have that kind of floating roof design. It's a little harder to see on this darker color paint, but you do still have that element that gives it a nice classy look and sporty vibe. Now, as far as the rear itself, nothing has changed for 2022, so you're going to have that signature design that you had on the 2019 model. So we have our Nissan branding right here in the middle. Then off to the side, punctuating that, are going to be your taillights. Unfortunately, these are fully incandescent, and that's going to be on every single trim level of the Altima. I would really love to see them add some LED taillights that have their newest design. But dropping down, you will notice that we have this nice diffuser for the SR. The SR and above will throw in the dual exhaust tips, which I am a really big fan of. Now it's time to talk about our warranty and our safety systems for the Altima. This is a midsize sedan, so the safety systems are a very important part. Now, unfortunately, Nissan is not throwing in all of them as standard equipment. So if you go for one of the lower end models like what we have here, you will just have auto high beams as well as forward emergency braking. Now, if you go for the SV trim and above, that will throw in rear auto braking. And then if you go for the SL or Platinum, that will further throw in lane keeping assist as well as adaptive cruise control. Now, for your warranty information, you're going to have a 3-year, 36,000 mile basic warranty, 5-year, 60,000 mile powertrain warranty, no complimentary maintenance. But guys, as you can see, they haven't changed a lot with the exterior design for this Altima, but now let's go ahead and check out the inside, and then we'll take it out in a spin and see if this is a great value for your family.
So walking up to the Altima, one of the nice things that Nissan has always thrown in is a standard intelligent entry system with remote start. And then getting inside the vehicle, just press the button to unlock. So as you can tell, the cabin does stay pretty much the same in terms of design, and let's go ahead and talk about interior color material choices. So standard on the S and the SV is going to be a cloth seat. This SR, however, gets the cloth and leatherette combination seat. So as you can see, we've got the leatherette on the outside edges. We've got the cloth right there in the middle with the orange accent that runs down the center of it. And these are zero gravity seats. So let me just say, as soon as you set in them, you just kind of go, ah, you know, they're very nice, very relaxing, and definitely, as we've experienced with past Nissans, really good on road trips as well. Now, it's, in terms of the SL and the Platinum, that's going to get you the full leather and your choice of charcoal or gray. The seats themselves are going to be 8-way power adjusting across all of the trim levels. And then taking a look here at the door trim, we do have a leatherette padding across the armrest, as well as above it, double stitching details as well. Along the top is going to be a nice soft touch plastic. We have a faux carbon fiber accent. And then if you choose the top end Platinum, that would be the one that would give you memory seats. As far as the windows on this SR, it's going to be power or automatic on just the driver's side. All right, now taking a look around at the broader materials. So across the gauge cluster here, you're gonna have a nice leatherette with a stitching detail. And then all the rest of the upper dash is gonna be finished in a soft touch plastic, again, with the color contrast stitching. We have some silver trim that runs through there. And then even though this is one of the more affordable trim levels, we do still have the leatherette pad along the console here to rest your knee against, and everything does fit together very nicely. Now, in typical Nissan fashion, your push button start is located down here next to the shifter. Now, as far as your gauges are concerned, Nissan keeps this nice and simple. This is the brand signature analog setup with the large 7-inch multifunction display right there in the middle. There is no digital option like you have in the Rogue. Although this might be something that they add when they fully refresh this model. But as we pull back here to the steering wheel, all of the trim levels are going to come standard with the nice flat bottom steering wheel, all but the base model will have the leather wrapping, and of course it is going to be manual adjusting. As far as steering wheel heating, that is going to be available, but you're going to have to get at least the SL. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to interior storage. We got the nice leather padded armrest here with the stitching detail. And as we open it up, let me move this piece of paper out so you can see. There you go, nicely sized bin. Good felt lining down there at the bottom of it as well. And let's put it to the test though. Nothing is complete until we test it out with coupons. Yeah, that's gonna fit in there, no problem whatsoever. Now up in front of that, we have a little storage area right there. We've got 2 cup holders, and then we also have a large pad where you could stick your phone. You've got both types of USB ports, an aux jack, and a 12-volt outlet. Now as we come back to the shifter, no complicated electronic shifter or anything like that. We just have that traditional physical style that you can pull back to drive as well as low. And then when we go into reverse, you're going to be greeted with a standard backup camera. You can increase the brightness of this, by the way. We just haven't done it in the settings yet, but as you can kind of tell when I get a little closer here, we do have the active trajectory on board, and we have parking sensors as well, which are located over here. If you choose the top-end Platinum model, that's going to get you Nissan's Around View 360-degree camera system. Now that blank spot that I pointed out as storage, this is where the electronic parking brake would be on some of the models. So it's a The arrangement's a little bit interesting. So you do have it standard on the SL and the Platinum. And then any of the models that have all-wheel drive, even the base model, that would have the electronic parking brake as well. But on this specific front-wheel drive SR, we are going to have the foot-activated brake. Okay, so let's move on up here to our climate control next. You do have a manual climate set up on the S through the SR. That's what we have today. As you can see, very simple to use. You're just going to adjust the fans right there. Adjust the temperature right over there, and your zones are conveniently located. The other models are going to come with a dual zone automatic setup. We also have a blank spot right there for our heated seats. Those are available on the SR. You're going to have to get the SR with the Midnight package if you want that. You can get them on the SV through the Premium package, and then as standard on SL and above. Okay, so now we're up here at our volume knob, and that means it's time to sample the audio system. So we've got a standard 6-speaker sound system on the vast majority of the trim levels. That's what we have today, and we'll go ahead and give this a sample right now. Okay, so I'm actually really impressed by this sound system. You never really know what to expect when you're sampling the basic sound system. Some of them are really bad, some of them are surprisingly good. This one is surprisingly good. And of course you can also get the Bose sound system if you choose the SL or the Platinum. Alright, so let's dive into the display here. So this is the 8-inch display. It's standard across all of the trim levels, as well as Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So Nissan's going to keep that real nice and simple for you guys. You do have connected navigation if you choose the SL or above. As we move on up here, all the models except the Platinum will have the manual dimming mirror. And then up here at the very top, we don't have a sunroof on this specific example. Again, this is another one of those features. It's going to be standard on the SL and above, but you can option it on to the SR or the SV trim levels.
Alright guys, now this is a midsize sedan, and any midsize sedan is pretty family oriented, so this, rear area is going to be pretty important. Let's talk about the space figure first, as we do with most of our reviews. So we're looking at 35.2 inches of legroom, 36.9 inches of headroom, which spec-wise does make this quite a bit smaller than all of its main competition, like the Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, and Hyundai Sonata. But overall, I mean, it is a decent amount of space. I'm looking at probably, I'd say, 7 inches or so between my knees and the seat back, with the seat adjusted to Drew's 5'8" position. I'm 5'9" for reference, and my feet can slide easily up underneath the seat. So really, you're not going to have any space issues, even though this is one of the smaller options in the segment. Now, let's also turn our attention towards the feature set. Here in the middle, we're not going to have vents. You can get that on higher end models. However, this is just the SR. Then dropping below that, we have a USB Type-C and a charging USB. That is going to be standard equipment on every single Altima model. Then if we fold down the center armrest, you will notice that we have nice armrest with cup holders inside. Heated rear seats are not available on any Nissan Altima, so that does not change for 2022. And looking at your door trim, we do have a hard touch upper, which is different from the front. However, we do have a nice armrest that is leather padded. We're also going to have bottle storage underneath of that. Now come up with me to the trunk. So in order to open it up, you just find the button under the lid. That will open it right up. It is not really dampened though, so you do have to lift it up with your own might, as difficult as that is. Now, as far as the space itself is back here, we're looking at 15.4 cubic feet of cargo capacity. That is right in line with that of the vast majority of the rivals. It is less than that of the Honda Accord, but that's one of the biggest options in the entire segment. So you're really looking at a good amount of space back here in the Altima. The opening's large. And then as far as the seats, they do fold 60-40 split, as you can see right here with our handles. Now, if we lift up the cargo floor, there is a spare tire up underneath it here. And it does have some single illumination right here in the middle. Now your passenger seat is manually adjusting for the SR trim, as you'll see here. And then if we open up the glove box, you'll notice this is a really large glove box. That's of course important because You have a family if you have a midsize sedan, probably. And that means you're going to need the coupons, and they do fit in here perfectly fine. It actually looks like it's almost made for the coupons. And then up top, we have a sun visor. It does have some lighting as well as a large mirror, and it does also slide as well.
And there we are going up to 60 miles per hour. So overall, definitely plenty of power on board. You know, more than enough from what you would expect in your typical midsize sedan. Could definitely get you up to speed in a quick amount of time.
Now, what that's actually going to be is a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, 188 horsepower, 180 pound-feet of torque, which those are healthy numbers for the segment. The vast majority are sitting between the 180 and 190 horsepower range. So, you know, that's decent power figures for this segment. They do still offer the VC turbo on this Altima, though. That's going to be on the SR trim only that it's available, and that's going to increase it up to 248 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. So that, of course, is a pretty big improvement if you're looking for that more powerful option.
Right, and since we're talking about the VC turbo, I think this is a good time to go ahead and mention available all-wheel drive on this model. So that's one of the nice things, is that you can add all-wheel drive, but the one caveat is that you've got to do it to this standard motor. So that's all the trim levels, but if you want the VC, then that's going to be front-wheel drive only. Let's go ahead and talk transmission. So what we have is a continuously variable transmission, as you expect from Nissan. Yeah, most of the Nissans do have the CVT. You know, that being said, this was one of the first ones, I believe, when it was introduced, that got the new generation of D-step logic, and this does make it feel a lot more like a traditional automatic. So as you noticed when I was accelerating, you don't have that droning sensation like some of the past Nissans have had. This one here does have the simulation of the shift, so it, like I said, it gives you that more traditional feel, like you're driving a stepped automatic.
Yeah. All right, and let's go ahead and talk about your fuel economy figures for this Altima. Now, if you go for what we have today, so this is the SR with the regular 2.5 liter naturally aspirated. It's going to be right at 27, 37, 31 combined. If you go for one of the other options, not this SR trim level, that will be 32 combined. And then if you go for the VC turbo, it's going to be 29 combined. All-wheel drive will reduce that figure down by 1 mpg as well. So if you go for each one's respective thing, all-wheel drive will reduce it down by 1 only. And guys, let's talk about our ride quality for the Altima. Of course, this is a mid-size sedan. That's a very important part about it. So the ride quality is really, really good. I'd say it's very on point with the Camry as well as the Honda Accord. And one thing that I do think is even better than the Camry and the Accord are these seats. These seats are really, really comfortable. Even if the Altima itself doesn't soak up the bump, I think the seat is pretty much going to soak it up. I feel really at home in these zero-gravity seats.
Yeah. These seats are actually so exceptional, I'm going to call them today's slam dunk. Because like I said, with the interior, as soon as I sat in it, it's like, it's just nice, you know, and that really, really stands out from the competition. There's some nice seats right here. Oh yeah.
And as far as our airball is concerned, one thing that we would really just like to see, I think, in the refresh, hopefully Nissan will refresh this for the next model year. We would just like to see some of the updates from the smaller Sentra thrown in on this. For example, the safety systems, they're not standard across all of the models, where in the Sentra they are. There's just a few little touches that you can tell that this Altima is, you know, not as up to date as some of the other Nissan sedans in the lineup. Let's get our sound level reading.
Once we get off the bridge.
Yeah. 58.1 decibels. That's a really, really solid reading. And it is also very windy outside. And we'll finish off some of the material with talking about the pricing for the Altima. So we're going to start at $24,650. All of these prices are with front-wheel drive unless otherwise noted. So $24,650 for the base S, and then you go all the way up to the Platinum, which is all-wheel drive exclusive, which is $34,350 starting. This tester is going to be on the lower end. This is an SR front-wheel drive without the VC turbo. With a few accessories plus 1,025 destination, this one's coming in at $28,215.
But overall, if you're looking for a good, affordable, very spacious, and just overall very competent, well-rounded midsize sedan, Nissan Altima is still a good choice.
Well guys, that wraps up our in-depth review of the 2022 Nissan Altima SR. If you found this video helpful, liked our channel, like just cars in general, please hit that subscribe button down below. We would really appreciate it. We have tons of automotive content on our channel, so I'm sure you won't want to miss out on that. Also follow us on TikTok and Instagram where we have other forms of content, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.